Hey mamas, you are listening to the Motherhood is Ghetto podcast. We all know motherhood can be a beautiful thing, but girl, it can also be ghetto. Join me as we discuss some of the best and worst parts of being a mom raising kids, all while trying to figure out this thing called life. This ghetto is a safe space, mamas. So welcome to the hood. Hey mamas, welcome back to another episode of Motherhood is Ghetto. My name is Joy, and how y'all doing out there? If y'all doing all right, you already know what to say. Say amen. I pray you are having a great day and a great week so far. And at the time this episode is being recorded, Mother's Day has already passed. So I hope every single one of you mamas had the best Mother's Day ever. And I can say for me at least, this Mother's Day was pretty cool. Like my kids got me some really cool gifts. And what I liked about all their gifts is that like it was really genuine. And like you could tell like they really thought about like, what would my mom like? Like what would she want? So I really love that. And they didn't have to do all that stuff. And I told them that they didn't and that, whatever they wanted to do, if they just wanted to give me a hug on Mother's Day, that would have been enough for me. But they got me gifts and stuff anyway, and we hung out all day. So it was a really beautiful day for me, and I'm just so grateful for my kids. I don't know if I tell them enough. I hope they know. I hope they know how much they mean to me and how much I appreciate them being in my life and how much I appreciate and honor being their mom. And I just couldn't ask for a better group of kids. Like, I was talking with someone the other day and they were asking, how my kids were doing. And I was telling them like, man, like my kids are amazing. I can't complain. They're like, there's a lot of things that I know like some parents worry about or have to deal with when it comes to their kids. And right now, by the grace of God, like I haven't come across any of those things. And, parenting can be rough sometimes and it's not, and it could be like not a good experience for parent or child or both. But right now, I'm really enjoying motherhood. I hope my kids are enjoying their childhood. Amen. Because I'm doing my best to make sure that they're comfortable, they're safe, and then at the same time too, like they're enjoying their childhood. So I'm really trying to make sure all those things. So I just hope that they know how much I love them and appreciate them. And if they don't, then they can just run back this episode and they'll find out. But I really enjoyed my Mother's Day and I hope you enjoyed yours too. And thank you so much for tuning in today. So we're going to get into today's episode since we're coming off of Mother's Day and also too we got a lot of stuff going on. May and June is moms, dads, grads season. So we already got moms taken care of with Mother's Day, and then we got Father's Day coming up, and then we have graduations, promotion ceremonies, all that stuff. So moms are busy this time of year. Amen. Like this is another busy time of year for moms aside from the holidays where we are pouring into people. We're planning parties. We're getting the gifts. We're getting people prepared, ready. We're busy with appointments, hustle, bustle, making sure everyone feels good. Amen. Making sure everyone feels loved and appreciated, congratulated, all that stuff, right? So I thought that today's topic would be fitting because as moms, even after all the things that we do, everything that we do for our families, everything that we do for the people around us, the companies that we work for, all that stuff. Some of us moms still feel like all that's not enough. And on top of that, some of us moms feel like that when we do certain things or if we don't do certain things, that it makes us a bad mom. And today's topic, I'm here to tell you that it doesn't make you a bad mom. Amen. So, I'm going to be going over a list of things that I feel that us as moms like we struggle with and we battle with internally, and we feel like if we do these things or we don't do these things that it makes us a bad mom. But that's just not true. And these are some things that like I wrote down because like I've myself, had those like back and forth in my head about some of these things on this list. And it's like, dang, like, does that make me a bad mom? Like, and when I really think about it, I'm like, no, it doesn't. So if anything, if whatever you take away from this episode, I hope that you take away the fact that it's like out of everything that we do, our number one priority should be us, and we shouldn't feel guilty about that. And we shouldn't feel like we're doing a bad job as moms for putting ourselves first. So that's what today's topic is going to be about. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so the first thing that I have on my list of things that don't make you a bad mom is doing things alone. Amen. Going on solo trips, going to the park, going out to eat by yourself. Um, Everything doesn't always have to center around the kids. And if you do things by yourself, or you want to do things by yourself. And I'm not talking about just like, a quiet moment like here or there in the house, or like, going outside just to take a breather, or going to the bathroom by yourself. Like, I'm not talking about that. Even though sometimes that could be a struggle too, depending on how old your kids are. But just doing things alone, because as moms, we always plan to do things around our kids and with our kids. So if we do like want to get out of the house, we're looking for activities and places where we can take the kids as well. And I think that sometimes it'd be a good thing, like if we just plan to do things by ourselves, with ourselves, like with no one else, and without having the kids in mind. And if you do already do that, or if you've been thinking that that's something that you want to do, it's not going to make you a bad mom. Um, I feel like kids too, sometimes they need that space, away from us, because like I said, like parenting and raising kids, like it could be a lot. And sometimes kids need a breather too. I know sometimes my kids they look forward to, going to spend time with their grandma or something like that. Just like to get a break from like the everyday routine type of thing that we have in our house. And that's completely okay, because sometimes I want to break from it too. So wanting that break and just wanting to do things by myself and not have it centered around my kids doesn't make me a bad mom. It don't make you a bad mom. So let's get that idea out of our heads today. Amen. Okay, so the next thing on the list that does not make you a bad mom, and this specifically, I'm talking to my single moms out there, to all the single mommies, whether you're single by choice or you're single by circumstance, um, not wanting to be in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship does not make you a bad mom. Let me explain further. So, for all my mommies who are choosing to be single, like they don't want a partner. They just want to be single, raise their kids, and they don't want to bring anyone into their dynamic, into like the family or the household that they've created. They don't want a relationship at all. If you feel that way, it doesn't make you a bad mom, because some moms would think that like, well, maybe, like my kids need male figure, especially like if you're raising boys. Maybe my kids need a male figure, or maybe I'm being selfish because maybe bringing another person in could be helpful, like help out with the kids, help out with household stuff, and help just kind of like bring a sense of like completeness. And we may be feeling like we're depriving our kids of that because we don't want to be in a relationship, and we're making it harder on ourselves because we have to do everything by ourselves. Um, but I don't think that that makes you a bad mom if you don't want to be in a relationship with someone, because there's so many other ways that you can get that, through community, through co-parenting. Like if your person is still here and you're co-parenting with them. But even if you're not, there's other ways that you can make your children feel secure and not like they're lacking anything. And then on the flip side, I don't think it makes you a bad mom if you do want to be in a relationship, if you do want to have someone in you and your kids' life, if you do want another father figure for your kids, and they may not have that, and you want love for yourself, and you want your family to feel complete and whole. It doesn't make you a bad mom either. And I know for what I see a lot on online is like, especially like with single moms, if they're like putting it out there that they're dating, or like they're taking pictures with their man and stuff like that, and the audience like knows that they're a single mom. Sometimes I be reading them comments and they be like, you need to focus on your kids. Or like, where your kids at? Like, you're always out like with your man, blah blah. And I'm like, first of all, who are you? Second of all, like, people would just be having like the gall. Like people just have some nerve just to say things like that and don't even know what's going on in the background. But some moms could feel guilty about that, for wanting a relationship and wanting to bring someone into their family dynamic and feeling that guilt. And it's like, well, maybe I shouldn't, because, me and my kids got like what we got going on is good. And then also too, if there's a co-parent involved, they may be feeling anxious about that too. Like, well, what will they think? Like, how will it work? Like, if I have a new relationship, and so then we kind of talk ourselves out of it, or we feel like it's not going to be the best for our family and our children. But it very well could be. And if you want that, it doesn't make you a bad mom. It doesn't make you less than a mom. It doesn't mean that you're going to spend any less time with your kids because you have someone, or you start dating, or you start a new relationship. None of that means that. So if that's you and you've been nervous about that, or you want to, or been considering getting into a relationship, bringing someone new into your family dynamic, nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't make you a bad mom if that's what you want to do. Amen. Okay. And the next thing on the list is having friendships or relationships outside of your children. So, especially when it comes to friendships. So, I know a lot of parents like to have friends that also have kids. So that way, when they plan to do things together, they can like do like family friendly things, or do things with the kids too, or be able to bring the kids along. It's definitely okay to have friends who don't have kids. And it's definitely okay to like establish relationships with people in groups where kids are not the center of it. Like, everything doesn't have to be a play date. Everything doesn't have to be like a family type of outing, get together when you meet up with your friends. You could definitely have friends that don't have kids and still have just as good a time. And I know for me, like, I have a lot of friends who have kids, but I also have a lot of friends who don't have kids. And that's okay. And the cool thing about having groups of friends, or a friend that doesn't have kids, is that they know that you're a mom, right? They know you're busy. They know that you got a lot going on. So they make sure that the time that you spend with them is so intentional. Like, I know with my friends, when they get a chance to spend time with me, they make sure that like we're just not just doing random things and like nothing's like planned, like we don't know. Like it's very intentional when I spend time with my friends because they know that my time is valuable. They value my time, they appreciate my time because they know every moment that I'm not with my kids, like that's time not with my kids. So they made sure to make the most of it with me. And I love that and I appreciate that. And then me as a parent hanging out with my friends that don't have kids, I made sure like I'm very present with them and I'm not always like looking at my phone, checking on the kids and distracted by whatever my kids are doing or wherever they're at, anything like that. I make sure that I pay attention to what's going on. I'm present in the moment with my friends and we all have a good time. So, it's not a bad thing if your circles don't require or include like kid friendly things, family friendly things. Like you could definitely have friendships and relationships aside from your kids, and it doesn't always have to be focused on you being a mom or you being a parent or your kids just existing. Like it doesn't have to be that way. And the broader message when it comes to that is like sometimes it's okay to detach from the kids. Everything doesn't always have to be about the kids. And at the times that it's not, it doesn't make you a bad mom. It doesn't make you a bad mom to want to detach from that persona, like that mom, motherhood, parent persona, and just be simply who you are. Like just be. So none of that makes you a bad mom, period. Okay. So the next one on the list is this is a big one, and this is one that I struggle with too, also in the past and also presently. So just know that all like majority of this stuff that I'm talking about, like I'm not just preaching to you, like I'm preaching to myself, anyone who fits in the category, because we all do this. Like all of us are guilty of this. But it doesn't make you a bad mom when you want a legit break. And I'm not talking about like a couple hour break or like one night or like a weekend, like not even a weekend. Like I'm talking about a legit break. Like you want to get away from your house and your kids. Amen. Like legitimately. Um, and I say that because as moms, we pour so much into everyone else. We spend the majority of our days making sure everyone else is good. We make sure the kids are good. If you got a partner, we making sure the partner's good. We making sure the house is good, making sure everything's taken care of, everyone's fed, everyone got what they need. We wiping tears, cleaning boogers, wiping butts, giving baths, like making sure everyone is good and pouring into everyone and making sure everyone is happy and satisfied. But then we feel guilty when we want to focus on ourselves. We feel guilty about that for some reason. And I don't know if it's a psychological thing or if it's just how women or moms in general are wired, but we feel guilt when it comes to looking inward and focusing on ourselves and pouring that same time, love, and attention into ourselves. For some reason, we feel guilty for it, and I don't know why. And like I said, I definitely do that as well. I feel like if I'm not doing something for my kids or the house at all given times of the day, like I feel like I'm not productive and I feel like I'm not doing enough. So when it is time like to focus on myself or times where I do feel tired, I'm like, no, like I gotta stay up, like I gotta do this, I gotta do that, like I gotta make sure this person's good, and it's okay to want like a legit break because we need it, period. Like we need it, and that's the bottom line. And when I do take a break, like a legit break, and I'm not with my kids, I'm away from the house, I make sure that I I turn my mom brain off completely. Like I don't want to be in mom mode when I'm not with my kids because I'm in mom mode 24/7. Like when we go out, when they're not with me, like I'm in mom mode. So when I get an opportunity to take a legit break and I don't have to worry about being a mom and I can just be me, like fully like myself, like, I don't want to feel guilty about that. And we shouldn't feel guilty about that. And it doesn't make us a bad mom for wanting that. Amen. Like breaks are so necessary. And I know for some of us it's not realistic for us to take like a week off from being a mom or anything like that, especially like if you're a single mom and you're kind of doing this by yourself and you really don't have like a support system like that. Like I completely get it. So whatever you can manage, if you can just manage a few hours or like a night, that's 100% okay. But what I don't want is for you to feel guilty for any amount of time that you want to spend away from this house and these kids. Like like I don't want you to feel guilty about it at all. And I tell myself the same thing too. I'm like, Joy, you do enough. Like you do everything. And everything has to be enough at some point. So, me wanting a legit break, like just a break where I don't have to mother, I don't have to do any of that. Like, I shouldn't feel guilty for it, and you shouldn't either. So, another thing that doesn't make you a bad mom is if your kids don't have the top of the line, best of the best of everything. And mamas, y'all know what I mean. I feel like I don't have to explain, but I'm going to go ahead and explain it anyway since we're here together. Amen. Your kids don't have to have everything name brand. They don't have to have top of the line bedroom accessories, top of the line bikes and toys and clothes and shoes and hats and all the other things. Like they don't need to have top of the top, best of the best. Whatever is within your means to provide for them, then that's sufficient enough. It doesn't make you a bad mom if the next mom has all like their kids' room decked out with all these cool things and toys and decorations and stuff, and all your kid has is a TV and a bed and a nightstand. Like that's sufficient enough because they have a roof over their head. Amen. They got someplace comfortable to sleep, amen. They got clothes on their back to keep them warm, amen. So it's like, it doesn't make you a bad mom if like your kid doesn't have all the things. And then on the flip side, it doesn't make you a bad mom if you don't want to buy your kids everything that they ask for. Even if you do have the means to. It doesn't make you a bad mom if you don't want to. And it doesn't make you a bad mom if you don't have the means for it. If you want to be able to have the means for it and you want to be able to do those things, then I already know like we're here as far as moms, we're going to do what we got to do to make sure our kids got it if that's what we want them to have. But if you simply are not in a position to, or if you are in a position to and you just simply don't want that, then that's okay and it doesn't make you a bad mom. So, and I know it's easy for us to get caught up, especially like with social media, and you see all these things online, these parents doing all these fancy things, fancy big parties and decked out rooms, buying their kids cars when they turn 13, like all this crazy stuff. Like that, if that's not your reality, then that's not your reality. So don't feel bad if it's not. And another thing that doesn't make you a bad mom is if your kids make a mistake. So if your kid does something and you know that you taught them better, you know they know better, and you're just like, damn, like, why would they do that? Like, what did I do wrong? Like that's usually what we think as moms, and that's like the number one thing we say, where did I go wrong? Like, what did I do? Like, well, why are they acting like this? Or why did they make this mistake? Because I've taught them better. It doesn't make you a bad mom if your kid makes a mistake. Um, what I will say for me, when Solomon was having suicide ideation and talking about ending his own life, I at first I really internalized that. I was like, what did I do wrong? I must have done something wrong in between the time like his dad passed away until now to make him feel this way. Like, was I not giving enough love? Was I not paying close enough attention, like, to what he was, like, consuming, like, visually? Um, am I not pouring enough, care into him, time into him? Like, I thought that I was doing everything wrong because he didn't want to live this life anymore. And on my end, I'm thinking that I'm doing everything right and I'm, you know, doing all the things that I'm supposed to be doing and I'm trying my best. But at that time, it felt like my best wasn't good enough. And I was like, I have to be doing something wrong. Like, I'm a terrible mom if my son doesn't want to live anymore. And I had to get myself together when it came to that because I know for a fact that I do try my best to make our home a safe space. I do my best to make sure that I'm a safe space for my kids when things get tough for them, and I'm a soft place for them to land on. And they can come talk to me and they're comfortable. Like I do my best to really make that like our standard, like our gold standard. But at that point in time, like I was doing everything, but it's just I wasn't what my son needed. Not to say that my son didn't need me at all. It's just that we needed some help. And I couldn't do everything by myself. I couldn't help him to feel better by myself. So that was something that like I had to let myself know that like I'm not a bad mom. Like I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. It's just that this is something that I'm going to need help with. Like I'm going to need reinforcements. And that's okay. That's completely okay. So if your kids make a mistake or they do something that's out of alignment with, you know, what you're used to or what you've instilled in them, the values and stuff like that, then it doesn't make you a bad mom. You might have to go back and reassess, like communicate, have some talks, stuff like that. But it's never nothing where it's like you're just an absolute terrible mom and you did something to cause it. Because 9 times out of 10, like it was nothing that you did to cause it. It's just another part of the motherhood journey or your motherhood journey. So, yeah, it doesn't make you a bad mom. Okay. And then the next thing that doesn't make you a bad mom is that if you are working towards your own personal goals and dreams, all at the same time while, you know, being a mom and doing all the things, because you want to focus on it or you want to set time aside for that, it doesn't make you a bad mom. And even if like you're a career woman and you're trying to like climb the corporate ladder and you're, you know, very career driven and career focused, it doesn't make you a bad mom if you are. Um because we all have goals, we all have aspirations, and we all have dreams. And for us as moms, we're always putting those things on the back burner when, you know, when the kids come into play because we're super focused on being the mom, being the wife, you know, taking care of the house and trying to do our best doing all that stuff. And we usually put our dreams and our goals and desires on the back burner and we say like, oh well, when the kids get this certain age, like I'll start doing this, or when the kids move out, like I'll do that. But just to be honest with you, mamas, like you don't even know if you have that much time. Let's just keep it real. Like you don't know how much time you have on this earth. So you putting off your dreams, you putting off reaching your goals, like it's not helping anyone. It's not helping you. It's not helping your kids, because while you're sitting waiting, for the right time, or for them like not to need you anymore, so that way you could focus 100% on your goals and your dreams, like anything can happen between that time. So time is precious and time is of the essence, and we're not getting any more of it, and we're not getting any younger. So it's okay. It's okay to want to prioritize your goals and your dreams. As long as your kids are still well taken care of, they're fed, they got a roof over their head, they're getting their education, all that stuff. As long as all that stuff is still going on, then it's okay to focus on the things that you want to do, and the things that you dream of, and the dream life that you envision for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. You can do that all at the same time if you want to. So never feel bad and never feel like you're being a bad mom if you're wanting to prioritize, your goals and your dreams. All right, mamas. The last thing I want to touch on that doesn't make you a bad mom is growth. Amen. Growing out of old ways, old habits, old patterns. None of that makes you a bad mom. And this one especially is something that I struggle with, because sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, I desperately wish things could go back to the way they were. And when I say that, of course, like when I see my kids and, they're having a tough time, they're having to be dealing with grief at that time, I so desperately wish that their dad was here, like, so that way they wouldn't feel this way. And I wish that, things were the way that they used to be. But I know now that things can't be the way they used to be, because I'm not the same person that I was, when their dad was alive. I've had so much change and so much growth happen, not only with me, but in my surroundings, like, and in my life. Like, there's no way that we could go back to the way that things were. And there's no way that we can honor like those old patterns, those old habits, because with those old habits and old patterns, there's no way I could have been able to reach, where I'm at right now, and have the life that I have right now with my kids. So don't feel bad about just growing out of things. Getting rid of things that no longer serve you, letting go of people, situations, relationships, friendships, anything like that that don't serve you. Like, don't feel bad about that, because you may be thinking like, oh, well, if I don't deal with this person anymore, like, how is it going to affect my kids? Like, my kids really love this person, like, and if I remove them from my life, then I'm removing them from my kids' life, and this, that, and the third. Don't feel like a bad mom for wanting to grow. Amen. Wanting to be better, have better, do better. And in order for us to even get to that point, we have to be able to let go of old ways, let go of old patterns, set boundaries, let go of some of those characteristics that we have where, we just let people come into our lives and do whatever, say whatever, like setting up like clear, firm boundaries to promote that growth. Amen. So definitely does not make you a bad mom if you want to evolve and grow, because your kids could very well evolve and grow with you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Amen. Depending on where you are at in your life, or what you've been through in your circumstances, I definitely can understand, wanting things to be back the way they were. I could definitely understand that. But one thing that I do know is God won't bring you to it if he can't see you through it. Amen. So everything is for a reason. And it's not to harm you or hurt you, it's only to make you better. So never feel bad about that. Never feel bad about not wanting to go backwards, for the sake of your kids and all that stuff. Like, you deserve a chance to grow and evolve as well. Amen. So that's pretty much it, mamas. I'm going to go ahead and land the plane here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this podcast or think that someone else would enjoy it, please don't forget to share it. Share it with another mom who you also think would find it helpful. Also, too, follow the show. So if you're listening and watching on Spotify or listening on Apple Podcasts, please make sure you follow so that way you're notified when I upload a new episode. New episodes upload usually every Wednesday. So make sure that you got, you're following so that way you don't miss when I upload. Amen. Also, too, if you're watching on YouTube, hey mama, don't forget to subscribe. And lastly, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at motherhood_ghetto. I am also on TikTok now, so don't forget to follow there. Same thing at motherhood_ghetto. You can keep up with the show clips there. I post little videos of the kids there. You can keep up with us there. Also, too, feel free to reach out to me. You can DM me on Instagram. You can message me on TikTok. If you want to share any stories about your motherhood journey, if you have any questions for me about motherhood or any of the experiences that I've talked about on the podcast, widow life, single mom life, raising a child with special needs, raising teenagers, all that stuff, whatever you got, don't be shy. Do not hesitate. You can reach out to me and we're going to figure it out together. Amen. Because we got to. We don't got a choice. So thank you again so much, mamas, for tuning in. And until next time, mamas. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Don't forget to follow the podcast and share with anyone who you think may enjoy it. And follow me on Instagram at motherhood_ghetto. Also, feel free to DM me if you have any experiences, opinions, or views on motherhood you'd like me to share on the podcast. Until next time, mamas.